even if you're an ordinary low-level business person, remember that a person that's just started a business now who doesn't have a family bloodline of running a business or a brand, you're a low-level business, meaning that you still have to add a lot of time and effort to your business to try and make that money. Now, remember, I'm telling you these things because money is not only linked to the bank accounts or how much you have in your bank accounts or how much you have the material things in your house, the car, whatever. Your abundance is a feeling. And when you're feeling under attack, especially now, people feel very desperate. People feel very low frequency. You understand? And when your frequency drops, it affects everything. It affects your nervous system. It affects your sense of self, safety. You need to feel safe in your body and in life for you to enjoy life. Or else you like living in hell because you're feeling unsafe. And when feeling unsafe, it equals to now being desperate, and then you start now considering to do some not so good things, some criminal things. You understand? Now remember, this how it works. The top level people, politicians, elites, and get away with a lot of criminality, but not the ordinary person, because you don't have that defense that they have. Remember, in this game of life, money is your defense. The more you have of money, the more you can do and get yourself involved with atrocities and be defended. I mean, the law will actually defend you because you are financially supporting these institutions, and you have money you can bribe and whatever that may be that you can do, but money tends to bring a lot of power. So now remember that those with even lots of money, those that are feeling unsafe, will do some atrocities to gain more power as well. You see, money is just the fuel of the free open market system, right? Money is the fuel that makes the system move on, right? However, when it comes to your emotions, your vibration and your frequency, if it is low, you will use that money to do some negative things because you're not happy. It hasn't brought you some sort of contentment or joy. Instead, you want more and more and more, because most people that are sitting on an elite level are operating from ego. They cannot get enough. They just want more and more and more and more control, more authority, more control. They want to change, control how much, what foods we eating. They want to control as far as sicknesses and stuff like that. Trying all sorts of things, manipulating and doing all sorts of things to try and have more control over the world, over people. Because their little corporations that they were running are not enough. Now they want to control masses of people, governments, and control the world. You see, because that feeling of not being satisfied has not been satisfied. There's a gaping hole within these people, and yet they have all the money in the world. Without them get up in the morning and they say, okay, how can I help the world? They don't do that. They want to say, how can I have more control? How can I can keep the people under my control? Instead of saying, how can I make the world a better place? Because these people are not coming from bloodlines that want to make the world a better place. They're coming from bloodlines that want to keep the world trapped. They want to keep control. They want to see people suffering, because suffering of others makes them happy, because they live in scarcity in their minds. When you're feeling that somebody's suffering, or a whole continent suffering, or whole people suffering, or whole generation suffering, makes you feel happy. It gives you more empowerment because you're coming from that worldview of power, control, and dominance. You understand? You have no love in your heart. You have all the money in the world, but you're empty inside because you don't want to open yourself to the fact that every single person needs safety, belonging, and well-being. And in this reality, the money power, having a sense of power materially, is important. But firstly, it's also important for you to feel safe within yourself. You understand? Because if people with lots of money felt safe within themselves and felt satisfied, they wouldn't want to lash out and hurt other people and dominate other people and gaslight other people if they felt safe and happy within themselves. They have gaping holes of emptiness within themselves, although they have varieties of luxury cars, their own islands, their own all those things, but they still don't feel enough. It's not enough. Every morning I can imagine, how does a billionaire feel, or a trillionaire, these days they're trillionaires, how does a trillionaire feel every morning when they get up and they see the world, you, the trillionaire, sitting with all this money and wealth, and 99% of the people in the world are suffering. You are people dying out of hunger in certain countries, and there you are, a trillionaire sitting on the highest mountain in the world, owning the world. But there are people who are dying from a simple thing that you can fill the whole world with. How do you feel? You see, because it's a sense of lack, a sense of not being connected to the rest of everybody else, because wealthy people like to exclude themselves from any other person, because somehow they've been told and conditioned that when you open yourself and be inviting and open, you actually putting your wealth in danger. You understand? Why do you think they have high fences and they got all these guards? Because they're feeling unsafe. And although they have the wealth in this world, but why are you feeling unsafe? Why are you feeling unsafe? Maybe it's because the way you got your money, right? Remember, it's a feeling. When the more money you get and you're not satisfied and you want more and more and more and more, and you can't see other people suffering because you've closed yourself from the world. That's a bad way of living. Scarcity narrows your perception, and too much money also can dumb you down as well. This is what we're beginning to realize. Or else, if this was not true, people like the who involved in the Epstein files, that whole story would not be a reality now. Because money also, or too much money and power, also drives you to the opposite. You understand? Scarcity narrows your perception, and too much money closes your heart somehow, for some reason, because then you so focus on making more instead of you helping any person. You understand? Because it's all a feeling. You want more of their power. You want more of their power. You close yourself to the rest of the world. You go to places that are exclusively for the wealthy and the rich. You live in the areas that are only for the wealthy and the rich, right? You send your children to the schools for the healthy and rich. You only associate yourself with the wealthy and the rich. When you watch the news, you look at the people or the messages, people that are, number one, just sheep, your workers. Now, the very same people that are contributing to your wealth, you don't even have compassion for those people.